There's 23 million unemployed people in this country, and we haven't done enough. This administration hasn't done enough to cure that.
This week, the internet practically exploded when the legendary Clint Eastwood, yes, the same man who once asked punks if they were feeling lucky, took a verbal six-shooter to woke culture. In a time when Hollywood feels more like a lecture hall than a movie set, Eastwood isn't mincing words. And let's just say the usual suspects in the industry, they're not thrilled. From Dirty Harry to Gran Torino, Eastwood has never been one to play by the rules. And now, he's calling out what he sees as the industry's biggest problem: the prioritization of politics over storytelling. But is Hollywood listening? Or are they just doubling down? With Elon Musk warning about the woke mind virus and the entertainment world in ideological freefall, Eastwood's takedown of modern Hollywood is sparking a firestorm. Will the industry course correct, or is it too late? Either way, the battle lines are drawn, and you won't believe who's firing back. The decline of Hollywood. Once upon a time, Hollywood was the land of dreams, the place where epic stories were born, legends were made, and popcorn was the only thing being shoved down our throats. But lately, it feels like the magic has been replaced with a checklist. Every movie now comes with a mandatory lecture on climate change, social justice, or why your diet is problematic. Look, we get it. Actors have opinions. But somewhere along the way, they started confusing movie sets with TED Talks. Instead of jaw-dropping action sequences, we get lectures. Instead of gripping dialogue, we get moral grandstanding. And instead of heroes we can root for, we get characters who feel more like activists than actual people. The result? Box office numbers are tanking, audiences are tuning out, and Hollywood seems genuinely shocked that people don't want to pay $15 to be scolded for 2 hours. Who could have seen that coming? So is there any hope? Can Hollywood reclaim its former glory? Or is the industry too far gone, lost in its own ideological echo chamber? One thing's for sure, until they start focusing on great stories again, the only thing declining faster than Hollywood's golden age is its ticket sales. The rebels refuse to bow. These actors and filmmakers aren't just making movies, they're making a statement. Instead of bending the knee to industry pressure, they've chosen to champion values like artistic freedom, patriotism, and good old-fashioned common sense. While much of Hollywood is busy crafting films designed to win social justice points instead of audiences, these rebels continue to create stories that inspire, entertain, and most importantly, sell tickets. Let's take a look at the few, the proud, the freedom fighters of Hollywood. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood isn't just an actor, he's an institution. From Dirty Harry to Unforgiven, Eastwood has never been afraid to tell stories about rugged individualism, justice, and self-reliance. While many in Hollywood have drifted further left, Eastwood has remained an unwavering symbol of independence. His films are refreshingly free of ideological lectures, focusing instead on compelling narratives and deeply human characters. And let's be honest, if anyone in Hollywood were actually afraid of cancel culture, it sure wouldn't be Clint. The man is 93, still directing movies, and probably drinks black coffee with a side of gravel every morning. He doesn't bow to industry trends, he sets them. Whether it's American Sniper, Gran Torino, or Cry Macho, his work continues to resonate with audiences who are tired of being preached to. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has faced more controversy than most actors in Hollywood, but he's still standing. Despite being blacklisted for years, he fought his way back and proved that talent will always outshine cancel culture. Hacksaw Ridge was a massive success. The Passion of the Christ remains one of the highest-grossing R-rated films of all time, and rumors of a sequel have been circulating for years. Gibson's commitment to his craft is undeniable. Instead of conforming to industry expectations, he tells the stories he wants to tell, and audiences respond. Whether you agree with him or not, you have to respect a man who refuses to be silenced. And let's face it, if Hollywood really wanted to cancel him, they probably should have tried before he directed some of the best war films in modern cinema. Jon Voight. Jon Voight's transformation is one of the most fascinating in Hollywood. Once a vocal leftist and active participant in socialist demonstrations, Voight eventually saw the light, and he hasn't been quiet about it. His shift towards conservative values has made him a pariah in Hollywood, but he remains steadfast in his beliefs. Unlike many actors who toe the industry line to stay in favor, Voight has spoken openly about Hollywood's decline. He's been unafraid to call out the radicalization of the industry and the loss of artistic integrity. While others remain silent out of fear of backlash, Voight continues to be a loud, unapologetic voice for artistic freedom. Radicalization. His performances, from Midnight Cowboy to Ray Donovan, remind us why he became a legend in the first place. Hollywood might not always embrace him, but audiences certainly do. Sylvester Stallone. If there's one thing Sylvester Stallone knows, it's how to be an underdog. He fought his way into Hollywood when nobody believed in him. And now, decades later, he's taking a stand once again. The man behind Rocky and Rambo has always embodied resilience and determination, both on and off screen. While Hollywood seems increasingly detached from the everyday American, Stallone remains a symbol of grit and perseverance. His recent move to distance himself from the ideological echo chamber of the industry is significant. Unlike many actors who remain silent, he's letting his work speak for itself, focusing on what matters, great stories and legendary characters. And let's be real, when the guy who literally invented the training montage says something's gone wrong, you listen. Heroes on and off the screen. These legendary figures are more than just actors. They are cultural icons who have shaped generations. Their on-screen heroism has inspired millions. But now their willingness to stand up against Hollywood's ideological conformity may prove just as influential. In an industry where storytelling has taken a back seat to political messaging, these men represent a return to genuine artistic integrity, compelling narratives, and the timeless values that once made Hollywood great. While modern Hollywood seems determined to replace action-packed blockbusters and emotionally gripping dramas with moral lectures and checklist-driven scripts, these actors remain committed to one simple truth. Audiences want to be entertained, not preached to. The left's cultural offensive. Hollywood has never been just about movies. It's been a powerful tool in shaping public opinion. For decades, the left has leveraged this influence to push progressive ideology, making their worldview not just acceptable, but fashionable. By controlling the narratives on screen and systematically excluding dissenting voices, they have succeeded in shifting the cultural landscape further left. It's no accident that today's films and TV shows are filled with overt political messaging. Whether it's rewriting classic characters to fit modern progressive ideals or injecting social justice themes into every script, the industry has made it clear: ideology first, story second. This tactic has been particularly effective across the Western world, especially in places like Great Britain, where entertainment has become almost entirely dominated by leftist ideology. Every show, movie, and production seems to carry an underlying message, subtly, or not so subtly, reinforcing progressive viewpoints while marginalizing or outright mocking alternative perspectives. Hollywood has followed the same trajectory. Conservative or even centrist perspectives are often dismissed, ridiculed, or outright censored. Actors who dare to step out of line risk losing roles, being blacklisted, or becoming the target of online outrage mobs. The result? A one-sided industry that feels increasingly detached from the real world and the everyday people who once made it successful. But the tide may be turning. With audiences growing tired of politically driven entertainment and box office numbers reflecting that fatigue, the question remains: will Hollywood listen? Or will it continue down this path, alienating its core audience in pursuit of ideological purity? A star-studded counteroffensive. The appointment of these figures as cultural ambassadors isn't just symbolic. It signals a larger counteroffensive against the one-sided narrative that has dominated for years. It's a call for balance, creative freedom, and open discourse, values that once defined Hollywood's golden age. Imagine a film industry where ideological diversity is celebrated rather than silenced. A Hollywood where filmmakers are free to create without fear of being blacklisted for their personal beliefs. A place where movies inspire, entertain, and unite audiences rather than divide them. With cultural titans like Stallone, Eastwood, and Gibson leading the charge, that vision may no longer be a fantasy. Their influence, both on and off the screen, is igniting a long-overdue conversation about the direction of Hollywood. If this movement gains momentum, we could see a dramatic shift, not just in the stories being told, but in who gets to tell them. And that may be exactly what Hollywood needs to survive. Hollywood's revival. The road to reclaiming Hollywood will not be an easy one. The industry is deeply entrenched in its current ideological framework, and those who dare to challenge the status quo often face backlash, career risks, and even outright blacklisting. However, history has shown that when courageous individuals take a stand, real change is possible. Hollywood has the potential to return to its roots, where storytelling, creativity, and artistic integrity take precedence over political narratives. But for that to happen, the industry must undergo a dramatic shift in several key areas. Reviving artistic integrity. One of the most crucial steps in Hollywood's revival is restoring artistic integrity. Movies should be about storytelling first, driven by creativity, emotion, and universal human experiences, not political messaging. While cinema has always reflected the times in which it was made, the best films weave social themes into the narrative organically, rather than forcing them into the script like a sermon. Audiences crave compelling characters, gripping plots, and thought-provoking themes that resonate beyond political divisions. Classics like The Godfather, Forrest Gump, and Braveheart weren't created to push an agenda. They told great stories that stood the test of time. Modern Hollywood needs to return to that approach, prioritizing storytelling over ideological box-checking. The industry must remember that its primary mission is to entertain, inspire, and challenge audiences, not lecture them. Encouraging ideological diversity. Hollywood frequently champions diversity, but too often that diversity is limited to superficial aspects like race and gender, while true ideological diversity is ignored, or worse, suppressed. The industry must embrace a broader spectrum of thought, allowing filmmakers and actors from all political backgrounds to contribute freely. A thriving entertainment industry should be a marketplace of ideas, where different perspectives can coexist and compete. Films should reflect a variety of viewpoints just as they do genres and storytelling styles. When ideological conformity dominates, creativity suffers. The best movies are born from creative tension, where contrasting ideas push narratives to be deeper, more authentic, and more engaging. Imagine a Hollywood where both progressive and conservative filmmakers feel equally empowered to tell their stories, where films can explore themes of faith, patriotism, and personal responsibility just as freely as they tackle social justice and activism. This balance is essential if the industry hopes to remain relevant to a broad and diverse audience. Reconnecting with the audience. One of Hollywood's biggest missteps in recent years has been its growing disconnect from mainstream audiences. Instead of crafting films that appeal to the everyday moviegoer, many studios have focused on producing content that aligns with elite, urban, and academic sensibilities, often at the expense of mass appeal. The result? Box office disappointments, declining ratings for award shows, and a growing disinterest in major studio productions. A revival of Hollywood must involve a renewed focus on what audiences actually want. Moviegoers don't head to the theater for political indoctrination. They want escapism, adventure, and emotional resonance. They want heroes they can root for, stories that challenge and inspire them, and movies that leave them talking long after the credits roll. The industry thrives when it listens to its audience rather than lecturing them. The overwhelming success of films like Top Gun, Maverick proved that audiences are hungry for old-school storytelling that focuses on action, camaraderie, and human perseverance, without unnecessary political baggage. This should serve as a wake-up call for Hollywood. The audience is speaking, but is the industry listening, supporting independent voices? In recent years, some of the most original and compelling films have come from independent filmmakers, those who operate outside of the major studio system and are free from its ideological constraints. These creatives, unburdened by Hollywood's unwritten rules, have been able to tell bold, unique stories that resonate with audiences in ways mainstream films often fail to do. The rise of streaming platforms and alternative distribution channels has made it possible for independent voices to reach wider audiences. Crowd-funded films, self-financed productions, and independently produced streaming content have proven that there is a strong market for fresh, original storytelling. As audiences continue to drift away from Hollywood's standard offerings, supporting these independent voices will be critical in reshaping the industry. To truly revive Hollywood, more emphasis should be placed on nurturing independent filmmakers who prioritize storytelling over ideological purity. Studios and investors willing to take risks on unfiltered creative expression will find that audiences respond enthusiastically to films that offer something different, something real. The cultural battle ahead. The fight for Hollywood is about more than just movies. It's about the cultural fabric of America itself. Film and television wield enormous influence over public perception, social norms, and even political beliefs. Whoever controls Hollywood controls a significant portion of the cultural narrative. For decades, the entertainment industry has been used as a tool to shape minds and push specific ideologies. Hollywood has drifted far from its golden age where creativity and storytelling reigned supreme. Instead, many of today's films and TV shows feel more like propaganda pieces than entertainment. But now, a new resistance is forming, one that seeks to challenge the ideological stronghold that has gripped the industry for too long. The power of entertainment. It's no secret that Hollywood has long been a battleground for ideological influence. Movies and television shows have the power to shape public discourse, making certain ideas seem mainstream while silencing others. This cultural power has been wielded strategically, ensuring that only narratives aligned with progressive ideology make it to the big screen. But audiences are growing tired of this. Viewers don't want every movie to come with a political lecture. They want compelling stories, rich characters, and entertainment that transcends political divisions. The success of films that break away from the industry's ideological mold, like Top Gun: Maverick, proves that there is still a massive market for traditional storytelling. Hollywood's gatekeepers have ignored this reality for years, believing that they can dictate what audiences should enjoy rather than listening to what audiences actually want. But the numbers don't lie. Box office failures, declining TV ratings, and streaming platforms struggling to keep subscribers all point to the same problem. Hollywood has lost touch with its audience. This cultural battle is about reclaiming entertainment from those who see it as a means to push an agenda. It's about restoring Hollywood to what it was meant to be, a place where creativity flourishes, where filmmakers have the freedom to tell diverse stories, and where audiences can escape into the magic of cinema without being bombarded by political messaging. Call to action. This fight isn't just for actors, directors, or producers. It's for all of us. As moviegoers, we play a crucial role in shaping the future of entertainment. The films and shows we choose to support send a clear message about what we want from Hollywood. So what can you do? 1. Support films that prioritize storytelling over ideology. Seek out movies that focus on character development, compelling narratives, and universal themes rather than pushing political agendas. 2. Vote with your wallet. If a studio consistently produces content that feels like propaganda, don't support it. Instead, invest in entertainment that values creativity and authenticity. 3. Encourage independent creators. Many filmmakers are stepping outside the Hollywood system to produce content that speaks to a wider audience. Follow and support these creators, whether through streaming platforms, crowdfunding, or direct purchases. 4. Engage in the conversation. The more people speak out about the state of Hollywood, the harder it will be for the industry to ignore the problem. Share your thoughts, recommend great films, and challenge the narrative when necessary. Hollywood has always had its ups and downs, but now it stands at a crossroads. Will it continue down its current path, alienating its audience and losing its cultural relevance? Or will it embrace a renaissance, one that brings back the magic, excitement, and artistry that once made it the heart of global entertainment? As Rocky himself once said, "It ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." Hollywood has taken some hard hits, but if the right voices continue to push forward, there's hope for a brighter, freer future for filmmaking. The battle isn't over yet, and with your support, the revival of Hollywood may be closer than we think. If you agree, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on the fight for artistic freedom. Together, we can help bring Hollywood back to its former glory.